Space, the final frontier. This is a review show for Star Trek The Next Generation. Its continuing mission to explore interesting plot points, to seek out goofs and continuity errors, to boldly go where no other TNG review show has gone before. It's Wednesday. It's 8 o'clock. It's the TNG review show. Oh dear. Sean's flying around his studio there. I think my cheers button's not working. There we go. Yes. It's us again. We're back to review, to put into the vault another episode of The Next Generation.
Sorry. You're not supposed to be able to hear that, sorry.
He's Star Trekking. You're trying to get me copyright striked right from the...
For some reason I haven't figured out my audio settings, but it comes out of my laptop audio and then gets picked up in my microphone. I don't know why it does that. Everything else is coming through my headset.
Well, at least it's not me this week with Leonard Nimoy and his Hobbit songs. Yeah. Yes, so good evening, everyone. Mazin Bob, how are you this week?
I am good, thank you very much.
You've got a new stand-up desk,
I do.
Up and downy desk.
It goes down.
Watch. Look at that. It's magic.
And then it goes back up again. Go up. Oh, come on. Yeah, up it goes.
I have one of those as well.
I think...
I just need something in the basement. Oh, hold on, I need something in the attic.
Here we go. It chops him off
back down again
at the nipples as well.
So I'm standing, so we'll see. We'll see if I make it through the whole show on my feet.
Yeah, we'll see.
Or whether halfway through I might just go sit down.
If anybody wants to take bets on whether Mazin Bob manages to stay through the whole stream standing up,
sweepstake, what minute will I sit down on?
put it in chat now. Yes, you'll notice that we're without our chief data fancier, Tavikins Turner. Sorry, Sean.
Head of anatomical cyborgs.
Yes. Anatomical cyborg research. Yeah, that's unfortunately, she's looking after a poorly family and has been So she
Very
can't.
disturbed sleepy times.
Yeah, she's tired. She can't make it this evening, but she sends her love to everyone in live chat, and we will hopefully see her again next week, where we'll be.
You're a bit tired yourself, Sean, aren't you?
Yeah, and
Yeah, I'm up since 5:30. Yeah. I'm helping my dad. So my dad is involved with a drama group, and twice a year they do a show. So I was out till about 11 o'clock dealing with a raffle in the show, into bed, up at 5:30, into Dublin, back out to the raffle, came back here, put the uniform on, right here. So been a bit of a crazy day so far, but yeah, couldn't be missing the old TNG review show.
no,
Good to have you.
it's good to have you. We thought myself and Maz would be. We thought we'd be alone for a moment, but you're here, and good afternoon and good evening to everyone in live chat, which is currently Stuplum. Good evening, Stuplum. I hope you're well, sir, and having a lovely evening. I nearly choked on myself there. Yeah, we were going to be trying that, and I've forgotten the name of the spirits this week.
Brennivin.
The Brennivin, which was a lovely present from Tavikins, Icelandic spirits. We were going to be trying that fresh from the freezer this evening, but as Tavikins is not with us, we're going to put that off to next week. So yes,
In our honour.
In
When I'm
our
not
honour.
up at 5:30.
I think we might do it sort of mid-stream rather than at the beginning, because it might ruin the entire thing.
Little bit, yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll be trying that next week. In the meantime, I do have my blood wine with me this evening.
As do I.
19 crimes this week. Stream
I've got a bit of a
not sponsored by
Stump Riff, I think. Something like that.
Black
And I've
Stump.
got some West Scrumpy lemon cider.
Oh, nice. Okay, then. There is a slight change to the quiz this evening, where, as well as the main quiz questions, we have one or two bonus questions every act. So, quite a number of where, of course, if as people get the right answer, I will be randomly generating a number and giving 10 points to the winner of the random number draw. Yes. Okay. So this evening we are discussing season 5 episode New Ground, which is the 10th episode of season 5, production number 40275-210. It first aired on the 6th of January 1992 in the US. Not sure when it do you know when it aired in the UK? Are we still in sync? Are we out of sync?
Yeah, we're 1 week out of sync. We're 1 week ahead. So, or we're 1 week. Yeah, so it'd be 28 weeks next week, or 28 years next Wednesday. Yeah.
Yes. It was the 109th episode to be both produced and released. The teleplay was by Grant Rosenberg. This was a one and done episode. Is the only episode he created the teleplay for in TNG. Incidentally, his wife guest starred in Voyager. The story was by Sarah Charno and Stuart Charno, who was a husband and wife duo. This was the second of 3 episodes they wrote for TNG, along with The Wounded and Ethics. It was directed by Robert Shearer, 7th of 11, the last one being Legacy, which I think was the one with Tasha Yar's sister in it, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, in this episode, they were, so, the episode Reunion where Kayla came back into it, they thought at the time about whether to, have Worf's son stay on the Enterprise, and decided not to do it at that time, but, they thought it was really good, now felt like a better time to kind of bring that concept back. And this was also the first episode to air after the release of Star Trek VI Undiscovered Country.
Yes. Carrying on with the Klingon theme.
Yeah.
Let's get a picture up, shall we? And there we go. Good evening, G-Star, in live chat. Good evening to you, sir. I hope you're well.
Deep pick.
Yeah, we start off with a D-pic, beginning of the teaser. This shot was first created for the episode The Child, which was the first episode of season 2. Of course, in the HD Blu-ray versions, this is a new CGI-generated planet. The Enterprise is approaching B'Elanna Torres. I mean, B'Elanna 3, where a new method of propulsion is being developed. The D is there to help conduct tests of this new technology. Oh, good evening, Wookiee. I hope you are well. Oops, wrong place. Back. I'm messing up all my tabs already.
It's going to be one of those nights, I'm feeling.
Get it together.
Get it together. Okay, in engineering, Geordi, Data, and Worf are preparing the propulsion tests, and Geordi's very excited. He's comparing it to Chuck Yeager breaking the sound barrier, and Zephyr and Cochrane engaging the first warp drive. Data and Worf do not share his enthusiasm, though. They're like, yay, tests.
It's funny how he says it's like being there for Cochrane's first warp drive, because
he is there.
He ends up being.
Yeah. Oh, the irony.
But yeah, and everyone else keeps it together, and himself and Barclay go crazy, but everyone else is just normal about it.
Yeah, he gets quite.
You told him about the statue.
And this kind of is nice because that's continuity, right? It's showing now that he would be like a real fanboy about that if he was there, and when he eventually gets there, he is that way.
He is. Cool. It is cool. It's cool. But question number 1 then: what is the name of the new type of propulsion? What's the name of the new type of propulsion? Is it A, subspace wave, B, tachyon wave, C, graviton wave, or D, soliton wave?
Sorry, didn't mean to yawn.
Say, my first question's really interested you there, isn't it? So, I'm just going to get that into chat there for you guys. There we go. What is the name of the new type of propulsion? Subspace wave, tachyon wave, graviton wave, or soliton wave?
Good question.
Worf then gets a call from his mother to say that she and his son Alexander are transporting over as they are in the neighborhood. Worf makes arrangements for them to come on board. But for 10 bonus points, what is Worf's mother's first name? What is Worf's mother's first name? Please type that name into chat, and the order that they come into chat gives you the gives you your number, and I will put you through the random number generator.
Is it Nikolai?
Oh, close. It's a good answer, but you're not right. Okay, in the transporter room...
It's a cracker.
Yeah. Worf greets them, and his mum teases him for having grey in his beard. He greets Alexander by shaking his hand, which is quite a formal way to greet your son that you haven't seen in a long time. I mean, I know he's Klingon, but they're usually all about the hugs and stuff, aren't they? You know? Worf's a strange Klingon sometimes.
He's a strange everything.
I mean, can you imagine any other Klingon walking up and just solemnly shaking your hand? That's not really a Klingon thing, is it? But, you know, it's the way he's been brought up, I guess.
Now you mention it, yeah, he works so hard on being Klingon about everything, and yeah, it's very human. And trying to raise Alexander to be Klingon. And,
yeah. So,
which is why he sends him to his human parents.
Yes. So he asks them how long they're staying, and Alexander replies that he's not going back. Yeah, better than a punch in the face. The normal standard Klingon greeting. A good headbutt. Boosh! Yeah.
Because you may have this expression, but it's always said in GAA, you're only 6 inches from a pat in the back to the kick, slap across the arse.
Yeah, heard that one. Anyway, that's the end of the teaser there, Mazma Bob.
Oh, yeah. I won't say her name, but yeah, Georgia Brown reprises her role as Worf's foster mother after her first appearance in episode called Family. This was her final appearance, apparently, and actually Georgia Brown's final performance as an actress, because she passed away within 2 years.
Oh no, how sad.
Yeah.
Oh.
And this was also Brian Bosnell's first role as Worf's son. There's somebody called John Paul Stoyer played him in Reunion. And then this one, Brian Bosnell would play him in a further 6 episodes. And I think this little actor was from, what was it from? Was it like All My Children or something? Was that right?
I think that's right, yeah.
Family Ties, sorry. Family Ties.
Oh,
Family
yes.
Ties.
Yeah, I think there's 5 or 6 Alexanders. There's an alternate future one. There's the teenage one in Deep Space Nine. There's this one. There's the one before. I think there's one after in the middle. So I think there's 4 or 5. But I would imagine it's the most recast role, other than obviously Founders changing shape doesn't count, and I would think. But outside of that, yeah, definitely they just keep recasting him.
I guess they couldn't afford his dad, or he wasn't available, or something. They make up some excuse of why he's not there. So, going to question 1 then. What was the name of the propulsion? Subspace Tachyon, Graviton, or Soliton? I'm covered in D's. No, not B's.
Yes,
Yeah.
we are covered in D's.
Yes. And so, yes, I think everybody, put D. And then the bonus points, for 10 extra bonus points, what was the name of Worf's mother's first name? It was Helena. And I think we've got a number of Helenas. I think we've got 1. So going by what you can see on the screen there, Mazma Bob's 1, Sean's 2, G-Star's 3, Stu Plum's 4, Wookie, though we don't count him, is 5. Just because. Oh, Tavikin's got a D as well. She's come in late, but she's got the points. She's got the points on the board. Yay,
Wicked.
Tavi. Well done. Now, just quickly stick in Helena. Quickly say Helena. Get that, Helena.
Ah, you wouldn't be encouraging our Tavikins to cheat, would you?
Oh, no. So how many do we have? We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yes, 5. So I've got my Wheel of Fortune here. Oh, there you go. Helena, 6. Because Tavikin's just stuck a 6 in there.
Brilliant.
So we've got 6. So who's going to get the 10 points? Let's find out. It is 2. Which was...
Oh, yeah, she did stick it in there, yeah.
Which was... Who was 2? That was Sean.
That was...
Congratulations, Sean.
That'll do.
Seems anticlimactic now. It was Sean. A couple of points.
Why? Oh.
For the record, I did know the answer.
Yeah. That's good. That's good. Okay.
Was it climatic or climactic?
I don't know. Right, Act 1. Let's get on. So, Worf and his mum head to 10 Forward and they discuss why Alexander believes he's remaining. His mum explains that it's because his father and her are now too old to bring up a boisterous young Klingon. Plus, he's having some difficulties lying and needs his father's guidance. Anyway, I'm off now. Bye! And she does a runner out of 10 Forward straight to the transporter. She's gone. Worf's like, what? What happened? So Worf takes Alexander to meet his new teacher. He tries to engage him in conversation on the way, but he doesn't get much response. But to be honest, at this point, he's kind of being typically Worf. You know, he's rather than having a conversation, it sounds more like an interrogation. But question 2. What is the name of the teacher in this episode? Is it A, Miss Kyle, B, Mrs. Grayson, C, Miss Gladstone, or D, Lieutenant Ballard?
Did you know in the episode's final draft script, it was Miss Lowry, but then got changed.
Miss Lowry.
Do you have the bit about
Lowry.
Nickel Lowry.
Do you have the bit about the magic corridor here, Monty?
No.
Okay, if you I don't know if do you have the next shot where they go into the classroom?
No.
Okay, well basically you see there's black panels behind them there,
Yeah.
and they're actually walking into the junior quarters.
Right.
And when you see the next shot, it's the kind of Voyager style with the kind of the loops on it. There's a different. So when they cut shots, they're actually going off stage, and they just put the little insert behind the door. When
Oh, right.
So
it's got the sort of like the bumps, the access panels, rather than
the Voyager ones as opposed to the black panel ones. Yeah. So it's a different set piece behind it.
I see. Yeah, the temporary wall.
Yeah, the temporary wall they shift around. Even sometimes they have scenes where you walk in off a corridor into the turbolift and you walk out onto the bridge. I think you mentioned that before. They just put a wall up. You walk in, they move the wall away, and the doors open, and all of a sudden,
That's
same
right.
bridge.
Yeah.
It's a good trick.
Yep. Yes, it's not Miss Lowry. It's not Miss Lowry. Lowry. Bad boys. What you gonna do?
I don't think I ever.
What you gonna do? When they
Come for you, bad boy. No? Okay.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is an Irish surname, but I don't think I ever had a Miss Lowry at any stage.
Did he drive a black Porsche? No. Okay, Alexander.
You look dirty.
Alexander's teacher introduces herself and asks him to spell his name, but Alexander is not paying attention. He's too busy looking around the room. She moves on and asks Worf for his date of birth, and Worf can't remember. He can't answer. So Alexander answers for him and is generally not impressed. His dad doesn't even know his birthday. But do you? So bonus question, what is Alexander Rashenko's birthday? You can put it into chat. I don't mind if you put the Klingon day or the star date or both. I'll accept any of those things. But yeah, for an extra 10 points, what is his birthday?
Alexander Rozhenko. His name is Alexander Rozhenko.
Yeah.
Apparently, Painting 101 was created specifically for the scenes in the teacher's office. So I take it that's the one behind Worf there.
Oh, is it?
By a guy
I
called
think
Dave
it's.
Yeah.
I thought it was the painting on the other wall, which is kind of it's kind of got it's more abstract. It's got like two lines in a circle, so it kind of looks like I think. I
Two
read
lines
the
of
same
a
thing,
circle,
but
but explain why it's called 101.
yeah, I think it's over. If Riker was looking to his right, you might see it. I don't think it's not in that shot. I could be wrong, but I think I know the one they're referring to.
All right. Maybe we'll see it later on. We'll have to keep an eye out. She asks Worf how long he's staying on the ship, and Worf replies, it hasn't been decided. In Picard's ready room, Picard's getting a bit impatient because Worf's late for a meeting. They go to start the meeting, but the teacher contacts Worf over comms to talk about exam appointments. Picard goes to start again, but this time the doctor chimes in to arrange Alexander's medical checkups. Picard gets the message that Worf needs some time out to look after family matters, and Worf's grateful for that. In the observation lounge, Dr. Jadar briefs senior staff about an up-and-coming experiment. A field will be generated on the planet below, and test vehicles will ride the wave, pushing it into warp without a warp drive. But here is another bonus question. If you didn't manage to answer the last one, maybe you'll be able to answer this one. So for another bonus 10 points, how many field coils are on the planet to generate the warp field wave thingamajiggy? Basically, how many field coils are on the planet? If anybody knows the answer to that, stick it into chat. Data asks how close should the Enterprise be following the test vehicle, and Jadar responds 20 kilometers. Jadar also outlines the corresponding wave will be generated at the destination that will dissipate the first wave and bring the test vehicle out of warp.
Just reading in the chat there, Tavi's just saying, can you move off that photo of Data as soon as possible?
Oh, yeah, sorry, I've had that up way too long.
Way too long. Just take it down. It's fine. Yeah. Sorry, Tavi.
Data!
Okay, we'll get rid of it now.
Yeah, that's enough. That's enough. There you go. Done.
Oh, sorry, Tavi. That was cruel.
I thought I'd replace Data with Troy's smiling face. So, there you go.
It's a very cheesy smile.
Eee.
And by the way, Tavi's saying that it just feels all wrong, like watching us and, not actually being part of it in the studio. It's weird for her, bless.
Aww.
And Wookie was asking, just by the by, how many days are there in a Klingon year? To which I promptly answered, 563. That's spread over 11 months, because I happen to have that in my trivia.
563, was it?
63 spread over 11 months.
I knew it was 500 odd. I couldn't have told you that much.
Well,
And then he asked me how many days are in a Vulcan year, and I have no idea because that didn't come up in trivia this week.
Well done for answering the first question, though. You made us sound really knowledgeable, so that was good. That was good. Yes, we're on the bridge. Councillor Troy approaches Worf and informs him that she's been talking to Miss. Oh, has everybody answered?
Yes, they have.
Oh, that's good. She's been talking to the wonderful teacher and asked Worf if he's attending the father and son event that afternoon. Worf said he can't make it due to personnel reviews, but he can reschedule under Troy's gaze. What is he doing there?
What, Sean?
Yeah.
Probably gone to the loo or something.
I was just grabbing a glass, sorry.
It would be like that. I can't remember what that was on, where somebody went to the loo and they had
left
their headset
their,
on and you
headset.
could just hear them peeing for ages.
Yeah.
Well, my microphone is still here. It's just my earphones come with me. So,
Yeah.
although there is a mic on this, so if I set it up wrong, that could happen. Yeah, I don't have a plumbed-in toilet at the moment. That's fine.
Ah.
I keep having to get water from the sink and pour it into the back of the cistern.
Oh, that's not good.
My landlord's in fixing it all up, so it's an adventure.
Yeah. So we're on the father and son field trip, and they're looking at a pair of animals from Corvan 2. Whilst everyone is distracted by the exhibit, Alexander seems more interested in a model lizard. After they move on, Miss Cole confronts Alexander about taking the model lizard from the table and passes it off as her own fault for not explaining that the model's for everyone to look at and use. Worf angrily asks Alexander outright whether he took it. Alexander denies it. But then when Worf checks his pockets, he removes the model of the lizard. Alexander is a liar, pants on fire. And that is the end of Act 1.
The guy who plays... Oh, it's not a question, is it? Like the doctor? He plays
No.
Dr. Jadar. He later plays Commander Peter Harkins in 2 episodes of Voyager.
All right.
He's Barclay's boss on Earth, dude. Keeps telling them not to keep reaching out for Voyager.
Yes.
Oh, he's really mean to Barclay, isn't he?
It's like on the Pathfinder project.
Yeah, and if he got his way, Voyager never would have came home.
Yeah. And I know you mentioned that Deanna asked Worf about the teacher. She actually called her Mrs. instead of Miss. So she got her
Troy did.
salutation wrong. Yeah,
Yes, I noticed that. She did.
This also, in this scene here, it obviously showed a few of the regular background people like, Michael Braveheart, etc., shown as fathers for the first time, which was quite nice for those actors to have a little bit of a, character development, I guess, in a very background kind of way.
Yeah.
And this puppet thingy, the Corvan Gilvo, was created by Michael Westmore and puppeteered by Alison Ebel, but it also later appeared in Deep Space Nine: The Negans.
Ah. Cool. Going back.
I have all my notes in chronological order now. It makes things much easier for me.
Going back to question 2. What's the name of the teacher? Miss Kyle, Mrs. Grayson, Miss Gladstone, and Lieutenant Ballard?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 A's, and Wookie says E, Mrs. Laundry.
Mrs. Laundry. Yes, it was indeed Miss Kyle. Just for
Lizzie Ballard was in Voyager, wasn't she? She was the one that the Doctor killed.
no,
the rest of them I can't remember.
Lieutenant Ballard is actually the primary school teacher that taught Data's daughter that he created.
Lal.
Oh,
Lal.
Lal.
That was Lal's teacher, and the only teacher in TNG that had a rank rather than a Miss or Mrs.
Oh, okay.
She was Lieutenant Ballard in uniform.
Well, I suppose on a Navy ship, every dentist and doctor and nurse all have ranks, so I suppose that makes a certain sense. But there was an Ensign Ballard on Voyager as well.
Yes. Miss Gladstone, anybody know who that was? She was the teacher that taught Troy's child when she was impregnated by that ball of light.
Oh, right, yeah.
And does anybody know who Mrs. Grayson is?
Amanda Grayson was the girl that got the Q powers.
No, I'll tell you. That's actually Spock's mum.
Oh, of course.
Oh, okay, yes.
Who was herself a teacher.
A teacher. They go for a lot of teachers on the Enterprise D, don't they?
Yeah. Tabikin says, I'm not liking how slow you came about Lal's name there, Monty. Oh. Yes.
I had my facts, Tabby. I had it right here.
She got it. Yeah, right there.
I remember in Picard when Picard says, oh, Data always wanted a daughter. Short memory he has.
That's right. Yeah, that's true. Yeah. Yes. Oh, and for the bonus questions then, for the bonus points.
So for the first one, we have 3 answers, which are 45th day of Magreth, 43rd day of Maktach, and 43rd day of Maktag.
The 43rd day of Maktag is correct.
So that's me as a 1 and Stu Plum as a 2 for the bonus.
Yeah, and Sean, you didn't get the star date right, but everything else was there. So how many was that? That was
Sean said 45th day.
Oh, did he? Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, I missed it.
Both bits were right. Wrong.
So how many?
Sorry, Sean.
How many right answers was it?
It's just me and Stu Plum. I was first. He was second.
Just 2, right? Well, this is a hell of a spin. This is going to be.
We got a 50-50 chance of bonus, Stu Plum.
Tabby, for no points at all. Lal is a Hindi word, but what is that word in English?
I think we did have that question at the time, didn't we?
Oh, did we? Okay.
Per bonus question, by the way, just to make sure.
Yep. So congratulations, Stu Plum. Well done. Yes, you got an extra 10 points, and there was a second 10-point question as well for another bonus points. How many fuel coils were on the planet? And the answer was 23.
So I put 24 and then immediately put 23. Sorry, typo. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
I was between 25 and 24, but anyway, that's fine.
So it was
either
me,
were wrong.
G-Star, and Stu Plum got it in that order. 3 of us.
Right. Okay. No, you don't get 10 points, G-Star. No, you cannot.
You might.
Yeah, you might. Yeah. So G-Star's. So who said 23? You did. So you, G-Star, Stu Plum. So what's that? 3.
Yeah.
So that's 3. Let's spin that wheel. I'm excited. And that was 3.
Stu Plum again. Oh, you did well there, Stu Plum.
Stu Plum did
2
well there, didn't he? Well done, Stu Plum. Congratulations. Congratulations. Okay. So we're on to Act 2. Act 2 starts off with a personal log from Worf commenting on how his son is acting shamefully. And now he has to deal with it, but he'd rather fight 10 Bolduc warriors than face one small child. In Worf's quarters, In Worf's quarters, Worf lectures Alexander about Klingon honor and the importance of not bringing shame to the family. He questions why he lied, but Alexander can't find an answer. He shows Alexander the statue of Kalos and his brother Morath. The brother struggling as Morath broke his word and brought shame to his family. Alexander apologizes not to do it again. I was expecting someone to say something there, but no.
Yeah, you're going for the whole Kalos thing, yeah.
Kalis, or whatever. Yeah, they say it wrong in this episode for some reason.
Kalis.
Also, yeah.
As
also,
we
that
all know
statue
from...
was seen in his quarters several times previously. The chair was seen loads of times previously. But yeah, Kalis.
Yeah, as we all know that from Discovery, it's Kalis.
In a corridor walk and talk, Troy asks Worf how the field trip went, and Worf recounts the story, but Worf said he has dealt with it. Entering the turbo lift to the bridge, Troy's like, okay, I see, I'm available if you need any help, but Worf doesn't think it's required. Yeah. But question 3, which turbo lift do they exit on the bridge? Which turbo lift do they exit on the bridge? Do they exit A, aft port, B, fore port, C, fore starboard, or D, they don't exit on the bridge at all? Bit of a complicated question there. So what turbo lift do they exit on the bridge? Basically, do they exit the rear right, front, or front left? Or they don't exit the bridge at all?
Well, aft port would be, well, I suppose it's right from the camera's perspective.
Oh yeah, from if you're on the ship, if you're in the captain's
if
chair,
you're looking forward, yeah.
Yeah, it'd be rear left, rear left, front left, or front right.
You're thinking because when you're looking at on telly, it's on the right.
Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. That's why I used aft and port and starboard, so there wasn't any ambiguity over the sides, because
that's good. Like it.
Yeah.
Well, aft port was correct, but it's not right. It's left.
Tavi says if nobody gives praise to Deanna's lovely bum, she's leaving. She keeps commenting about it, and we're not.
Funnily enough, I put this shot in specifically for Tavi to comment about her lovely bum. So that's the only reason I put this shot in the slide deck. So yeah, there you go.
Oh, it was all for you.
It was all for Tavikins to mention, but yeah.
G-Star gives praise as well, probably just to stop Tavi from leaving more than anything else. But well, hey.
I don't know women how they can have hair like that without their head just being back here all the time.
Yeah.
My buddy Ferdy used to be a rocker, and he used to walk around all like that, looking at his nose because his hair was so far down his back. As soon as he cut it, his head went straight again.
Hair is actually really not that heavy.
It depends what he puts in it, I guess.
When it was long, it was back here. When he cut it, when he started going bald, all of a sudden he started sitting up properly, and he stopped walking around looking like that. That's all I'll tell you.
I know plenty of women with hair that long, and they don't have a problem with their neck.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Okay. So, skip over that picture because that's the answer. On the bridge, Dr. Jadar signals that they are ready to start the experiment. They generate the wave and it hits the test ship, sending it into warp, and the Enterprise follows. Data comments that the wave is 98% efficient, which is very good. But for a bonus point, for 10 bonus points, how much more efficient is that than the Enterprise's warp drive? I was only saying that because Data does say...
Oh, this is a bonus, is it?
That's your 10-point bonus, yeah. How much more efficient is this a wave over the Enterprise's own warp drive?
I'm just trying to explain. Tavi sent a meme in the in the Facebook chat, and she's trying to draw our attention to it. And I'm saying like you can't really check Facebook chat while you're in the middle of a live show. That's all.
Yeah. Open image new. Okay.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I can't get to that.
I could try and blow it up and make it my background, but it's too low res. It won't come out.
Oh, hold on a minute. I can do this. I've got technology.
You can do it.
I can do it.
You have the technology. Hold on.
Yeah.
Display capture. There it
Here
is.
you go.
Well, I can do it. It's
I
just,
got it.
hold on.
I got it.
That's it, but I don't think you can see it. It's too small. Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, okay. That's slightly better. Yeah.
How's that? How's that for you?
Tiana, I want another child. Oh, Worf, that's wonderful. You misunderstand me. I want another child.
Oh yeah.
Not the one I've got.
Yeah.
Very good.
Very good. Very good. So, picture.
No, it's Felton again. Look.
Oh, where?
Second time. Ensign Felton. There she is.
Uh-huh.
She was only in the first episode last time, wasn't she? But,
Yeah.
oh,
Remember that for later,
this
kids.
is a great picture. Look at Riker's legs up in the
I
air.
know. there's Troy just taking it easy with her hands behind her thing. Just, But anyway, no sooner as they're marveling at the numbers of efficiency, they find the wave fluctuating and the efficiency drops. LaForge is unable to compensate and Picard orders Helm to drop out of warp. Just as they do so, the test vehicle explodes and the shockwave knocks the Enterprise about. Even knocked the camera over. And that was the end of Act 2.
Golly.
Golly.
I have to say, nice shot though.
Sorry, I was going to say, if
go
what
ahead.
was true about the amount more efficient that this was than their warp engines, that means their warp engines are only about 20% efficient or something, which
Yeah.
is really extremely low compared to almost any type of other fuel
Well,
consumption. So, like, why
if
would
you've
it be
got a-
that horrendously inefficient?
If you've got a petrol car, it's only about 8% efficient. And if you take into account the cargo, if the amount of fuel that's purposely just transports the cargo is in the people in it, not just the car, it's only about 2% efficient.
So what you're saying is the Enterprise is more efficient than petrol.
Yeah.
Yeah, very much so, yeah.
And being that it's like they're in a vacuum, you shouldn't really get much in terms of, mass and drag and things.
But if a
But
2-ton...
anyway.
If you've got a 2,000 kilo car and only 100 kilo person, you have to move the whole 2,100 kilos to move the person, and that's not even accounting for the fact that the engine is only about 8% efficient. Most of it's just fumes coming out of it. They're not great.
So, question 3, which turbo lift did they exit? Aft port, fore starboard, or they didn't exit on the bridge at all?
We had a variety of answers this time, which is interesting. A's, B's, and D's, I think.
Well, if you said A or D, you were not correct, I'm afraid. It was B.
Ooh.
I should have been covered in B's. And just in case anybody wants to question, there is a picture of them
Nice.
exiting the bridge.
Yeah, I knew
Highly
it was
unusual.
like, I knew they came out on that side and that you could see, the people there. But yeah, I didn't know if it was front or back.
This is highly unusual shot because you can't quite see it in this picture, but the door is orange, the same color as it would have been when they entered because the doors to the turbo lifts on the corridors are all orange. The doors on the turbo lifts on the bridge are always grey, but this one opens and the door is orange.
Yeah, I would imagine that you very rarely see that that turbolift being used, and we only ever see the battle bridge turbolift being used once, I think. But I see the doors open in a different episode. But I would imagine because it's all the equipment is at that side, they shoot through the view screen, that they probably took the back off it and just moved the cameras around. So it was easy enough to get that shot kind of shooting in. They didn't have to cram the camera in behind them. But outside of that, yeah, it's kind of weird they never did it more often. I know when it was easier to frame the shot walking in, but you only ever see that. I think that's the only time you see that shot. It's just unusual.
I don't remember seeing it, and that's why I put it in the question, as it's unusual.
Yeah, I should have guessed, because it wouldn't have been the battle bridge, and why were we asking the question if it was just the same one we always use? Never mind.
Yeah.
Only Stu Plum got that right.
Oh, well done, Stu Plum.
Being that he got the last two bonus questions as well, he's doing really well.
Cheers, G-Star. G-Star is off. Thanks for popping along, mate.
Look
forward to seeing you on Friday.
Yeah.
But for the bonus 10 points then, how much more efficient was that than the Enterprise? It was 450%. So I think Sean, Maz and Stu Plum, you all got the 450, the magic number. So we got 3 right answers. So we will spin that wheel. And the right answer was 2, which is Messing with Bob.
Number 2, was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well done, Messing with Bob.
Lovely.
We may have a runaway winner.
Yeah, which is Stu Plum.
Yeah, at the moment.
Stu Plum's on 140 points. Myself and Sean are on 70, and Tavi and G-Star are on 60. So,
right.
Stu Plum's dominating.
So, Act 3, the lights come back on from the Enterprise being shook about. And Geordi reports that the sensors and warp drive are currently offline and deflectors are at 15%. Worf reports injuries from various decks, and Troy reports her seat won't go up and down anymore. Data reports the ship blew up due to shearing stress. The Doc hails them, reporting that he discovered there was a power imbalance, and Geordi confirms that sounds about right, but congratulates the Doctor for achieving warp without a warp drive. I put warp visits Miss Kyle, but it should be Worf, not warp. I just said warp so many times.
Mr. Wolf.
Yeah, Mr. Warp. Visits Miss Kyle, and she tells him that whilst Alexander is bright and tests well, she does have concerns. He's defiant, aggressive, and doesn't pay attention. Worf is dismissive, telling his teacher that she probably doesn't have much experience dealing with Klingons, as they require a firm hand. But the teacher informs him that Alexander still has trouble telling the truth. Oh dear. Worf looks all confident in that screenshot, but then we see, he sort of slumps down in his chair and is like, Worf's smile begins to fade as the teacher lists off all the things Alexander has been getting up to, like stealing, bullying, claiming that Worf told him that he doesn't have to listen to the teacher. She goes to suggest they both need to sit down with Councillor Troy, but before she can finish, Worf heads off to find his errant son. But question 4, where does the computer report Alexander's location? Is Alexander in holodeck 2, holodeck 3, holodeck 4, or 10 forward?
I like Worf doing the oh my thing.
Oh my.
Oh my.
I can't remember where it is. I had it in my notes somewhere about these shortcuts that they used to use, or things and hints and tips they picked up over the years. And one of them was to do with Worf, like because of his sort of cranial ridges and stuff, it often, as you can see right now, puts his eyes in shade. So they used to have a special sort of set of lighting where it was kind of directed up into his face that you could see his eyes properly. And apparently they used to nickname it Worf light, whenever he was in the scene. Oh, let's get the Worf light over here.
Well, I suppose from a lighting point of view, the combination of his dark skin and the fact there's a ridge there would make life, pretty difficult, because any light you shine on him is going to get absorbed, or most of it will. So, yeah, I can imagine the difficulty.
And the headset fell off there.
It did, yes. I wonder what was going on for a minute, and then you disappeared.
I don't know if
definitely had that in my notes somewhere, but I don't know where it went. Anyway.
I don't know if you've ever tried to take a photo with someone who's a different skin color to yourself. You either come out like a ghost or they come out like a shadow, and it just doesn't develop right. So I have my sympathy for people who have to light these shots.
And cameras have improved a lot, haven't they? Since then.
But you remember? I remember back in the day when people had physical cameras in pubs 10, 15 years ago. That's all you get. It would never look right for everybody. It would always be a mix.
Well, the thing is now, like, you used to have to like take a shot, and then it would be on a reel of film, and then a month later you'd take it to Boots, and they'd send it off, and then you get it in the post in like a week's time, and then you'd know whether the shot you took was any good or not. Now you can just take like 20 and then cycle through them and just go, oh, get rid of that lot and I'll just keep that one.
Well, if you're really modern phone, it's got a couple of different cameras and it composites the image with AI, so
it does.
It's quite hard to take a bad photo, but that's only the last year or two.
Yeah. Even if you do take a bad photo, you can stick it into Photoshop and like do photo correction and just make it right.
Yeah, pretty much.
Though Photoshop cannot do anything with this to make it right. It's a lost cause. Okay, so Worf finds him in the holodeck running his own calisthenics program. I think it's really cute. He's wearing this kind of like yoga outfit that Worf like has worn in the past.
Yeah,
he's got like a little mini version. It's really cute.
Yeah, it's like a taekwondo suit. Yeah.
Yeah. He's fighting the skeleton-looking hologram, and he wins. Worf secretly couldn't be prouder. Alexander's like, I did it, Father. Did you see? Worf confirms that he saw, but confronts him about his behaviour and taking the bat'leth without permission. Alexander lies more, saying, it's all the teacher's fault and it's all lies. Alexander asks about visiting the creature from Corvin 2 again, but Worf says no. He sees now that he's failed him as a father, so he'll be sending him off to Klingon school. Alexander shouts that he won't go, so Worf orders him to return to his quarters and remain there. But for a bonus question, 10 points is on offer. What was the name of the creature from Corvin 2? What was the name of the creature in the cage that we saw earlier on in Corvin 2? Did anybody remember?
This was the third and final time that the skull-faced opponent was in Next Generation. But a similar holographic character appears in Jadzia Dax's holo exercise program on Deep Space Nine. In this one, this character was played by stunt coordinator Dennis Madalone. And in Deep Space Nine, it's played by him and also another stunt actor called Tom Morga. But there you go, sort of actors and extras that you never really think about because they're just a random holodeck character.
I mentioned this before, but does anyone remember where the ghost mask was, or the skull mask was recycled from? What production?
It was from He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Yeah, we talked about it before.
Yeah, it was one of the Skeletor mask prototypes, yeah.
What was the name of the creature from Corvin 2? Wookiee asks, is it Simon? Oh dear. That's
Corbin good. Tallis. Multipass.
Yeah,
very good. Multipass. Big bada boom. I've got the they're 3D printed, but I've got the Fifth Element stones on my on my mantelpiece in the front room.
They're cool. Water, air,
is
wind,
it just
fire.
because? Is it just because it doesn't look like it's sci-fi, so nobody knows? It just looks like an ornament that you
it just looks like an ornament on my. Yeah, nobody realizes the sci-fi reference in the middle of my front room.
Nice.
Yeah. Yes. So okay. Yeah. Right. With it.
I don't know. Says you have a mantelpiece.
Yes.
Over the fire.
Yeah. Sorry. It's probably. What else would it be called in other...
Oh, there's a D-man shot.
Oh, yeah, there he is.
Oh, look at that face.
I'll just leave it. I'll leave that one there for a little bit. What? Fireplace, I guess. I don't know what else you call a
Tabby's just saying
mantelpiece.
there isn't enough data to give her enough hit points.
Oh, there you go. Oh, wait, she says. Oh, wait, hang on. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute. Here we go.
Bless. You
Yeah.
can go if you need to, Tabby. Don't worry. She'll stay another minute just while he's on screen.
I'm just going to have to leave this up now for the next hour. aren't I?
Oh, we'll hold her hostage with the data pictures.
Yeah. So back on the bridge, Geordi tells Riker it'll be another hour until the engines are back online. Sensors come back and data picks up the wave is still on course for the colony, but has increased to warp 4.1. The energy levels increased by a factor of 12. And it will increase by a factor of 200 by the time it reaches Lima 2. They inform Dr. Jadar, who confirms that not only will it wipe out the colony, but it'll also take most of the planet with it. And that's the end of Act 3.
The Soliton Wave Rider is a redress of the Mars Defender perimeter ship from Best of Both Worlds Part 2 and Unification Part 1.
It appeared as one of the derelicts in the in Unification when they were hiding out in the ship graveyard place.
Yeah. And also, here's a question. So, when he asks where Alexander is, how does the computer is just scanning for genetic code everywhere or something? 'Cause
I guess so.
if somebody hasn't got their badge on, like often they would locate them with their badge. Because often when somebody hasn't got their badge, they say, we don't know where they are because they've taken their badge off, but they seem to know where Alexander is, even though he doesn't have one.
I don't know. When kids go on holidays nowadays, they put GPS trackers on them and stuff, so the parents can keep an eye on them. Or even with your phone, you can put little spyware programs on it, so you can track the location if you don't trust your teenagers. I would imagine, that they would be conscious enough of child safety that they would put some sort of, subcutaneous tracker on them just while they're kids. Well, depending on what the parents want. And Worf, being security conscious, definitely wouldn't want his kid just not being able to be tracked.
No.
Good point.
So
Abby says that it's crazy, but Data is so hot that she feels up for it even when she's really knackered. Yeah, bless. And Wookie says he feels the same way.
let's face it, we all do. Even Sean.
Yeah, he has me on the turn at that photo. Like, come on. Give me that forehead action.
So, question 4. What was Alexander's location? Was it holodeck 2, 3, 4, or 10 forward? What do we have, Mazza?
I think most people said C.
Well,
C.
CC. Well, that's because
Holodeck
that's C. It's correct.
Yay.
Yay, C. And for the bonus question then, what was the name of the creature from Corvin 2? Do we get any answers for that?
Simon, Corbin Tollin, Corvin Gilvo, and Corvin Gilvos.
Yeah, Gilvos, Corvin Gilvos. So I think that was 2 right answers there, wasn't it? From
Mine was first, then Stu Plum's was second.
Yourself and Stu Plum again. So another 2 answers there. So spinning. Who was 2?
Stu Plum.
Stu Plum. Yeah. Not Corbin Dallas. No, not Corbin Dallas.
Multipass.
With his multipass. No.
Multipass.
Do you want to say goodbye, Tavi? You want to say goodbye?
Bye, Tavi Kid.
I even missed it.
We love you.
I missed this picture out at the end because they're talking to the doctor, but I, left it on the other one. Act 4. There we go. So, Worf and Troy meet to discuss Alexander and Worf. Worf informs her of his decision to send him away, and they discuss how Worf's feelings about this decision and how he felt about sending him away after Kayla was killed. She also asks him whether he can see it from Alexander's perspective. When Worf sent him to live with his parents, did Alexander feel when he was losing both parents at the same time? He's now acting on his feelings of abandonment. Troy asks Worf about the last time he spoke to Kayla, and Worf says they argued about Alexander. Troy questions whether he has held on to this anger. And Worf reveals that he was angry about not revealing the truth and then dying and leaving him. Troy questions whether he held on to the anger of not revealing the truth and dying and leaving him with a son that he didn't even know. Troy points out that he and Alexander need to work through their pain together. Worf agrees. Worf goes to Alexander, who is busy packing in his quarters. It's really cute. It's really sad to see little Alexander there, sort of carefully packing his suitcase. Oh.
I'd love to know where you could go with that little thing, but
yeah, he's doing his best to pack it. So yeah. Thank you for your episode rating, Tavi. Yes, you got that in. That's good. He's packing in his quarters. Worf tries to convince him that the decision to send him away to Klingon school was for his own good, not because he's just sending him away, but Alexander thinks it's because he's ashamed of him, because he cares more about honor than he does his own son. Worf brings up Alexander's mother, saying she wouldn't want them to fight, but Alexander points out that she wouldn't want him to send him away either. Touché, Alex, touché. Worf then gets summoned to the observation lounge, and he orders Alexander to remain in their quarters. In the observation lounge, Worf is late again. But question 5, Geordi reports that the soliton wave has now increased by a factor of what? So as we go into this scene here, it's the first thing they say. Geordi reports that the soliton wave has now increased by a factor of what? Is it A, 86, B, 94, C, 96, or D, 100? So...
Wookie's saying there are very few good child actors. Why don't they use more people from the little people community who are far better actors? And Tavi says, join me in with your fun commentary. I'm finding it difficult to leave.
On Wookie's point there, I just wanted to say that particular child actor looks fairly tall for his age based on his dimensions. He's fairly gangly. You think they would have found a shorter one. He's supposed to be 3 years old. I don't know why they got one that was so big. I mean, if they could have found a shorter 8-year-old that was a foot shorter, and it would have made more sense.
He's tiny. He's so cute.
He's not tiny for his age, though. They could have made him look, they got a tall child actor as opposed to a short child actor.
They've still got to be able to act is the only thing. Apparently this kid was like really quite nervous in the first scene, and but then he sort of really got into it. He really loved all like the makeup and stuff, and there's quite a few sort of pictures of him goofing off in between scenes, like pulling faces and things. But yeah,
do we know how old he's supposed to be though?
Well, he was only born 2 seasons ago, so yeah, pretty much.
Was he a baby?
Well,
no,
because when
Kayla brings him along, he's already walking around the place like a 5-year-old, but he was only a year-old in reality.
Yeah, I mean, maybe Klingon children develop quicker than human children.
Yeah, I was just wondering, maybe he was conceived earlier than that. Like
he was conceived when Kayla came onto the ship the first time.
Oh, he definitely was he? Was that mentioned?
I mean, that's the first time they'd seen each other in years.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, by DS9, season 6 or 7, when he comes back again, he's only about 13 in reality.
Either that or Kayla was hanging around with some Klingons about 8 years ago. It's your son, Worf.
It's okay.
Don't do a DNA analysis.
It was just time crystals. That's all it was. We know from Disco.
Can you tell from his ridges though?
Yeah, I mean they use the same mold or the same design, don't they?
Yeah, they have. Yeah. That's it. Tavi's saying that the paternity of him has always been a big question, but you've mentioned before, Monty Ban, that he has the same head ridges as Worf, so surely that would be a genetic giveaway.
Yeah.
Yeah, Worf didn't always have those ridges. Season 1 Worf looked very different.
But as to why they don't use small people, little people, I can't answer you there. Okay.
I just think it's the suspension of disbelief. Like people be like, "That's not a child. That doesn't sound like a child."
Are you trying to say that they wouldn't mistake a 40-year-old dwarf for a 5-year-old?
Yeah, true enough. Well, under enough makeup,
they could shave him and everything. It'd be... Okay. Yes. We've had the question, haven't we? Did we do that? Yes, we did that. We did that. Picard wants to know how to stop it. And Geordi has 2 ways. One, they use the ship's warp drive to produce an inverse resonant wave. But Data points out that it'll be difficult because the wave keeps changing. Or 2, they create explosive force in the wave's path to disrupt it. And because the wave has grown in size, we can't go over it. We can't go under it. Oh no, we've got to go through it.
I mean, it's a bit silly though, isn't it? Oh, it's so big we can't go around it. And then when you see it, it looks like exact same size. It's tiny.
Yeah.
Like a width and a half of the size of the Enterprise. They could easily have gone around it.
Yeah, if anybody has children out there, they would have gotten that reference. But if you haven't got children... For those people that...
Well, I wouldn't have got it.
For those people that don't get that reference...
River. We can't go over it. We can't go under it. Oh, no. We got to go through it.
Oh, we're going on a bear hunt.
Splosh.
Hey, we're going on a bear hunt. Yeah.
Is that your man that says nice? You know,
nice.
Nice. Is that the same guy?
Same guy, yeah. Right. Michael Rosen, Royal Laureate, writer of children's books. Yeah. The nice thing comes from one of his stories, Babysitter. So I didn't know any of that until I found this clip and was like, hey, my God, it's the nice guy. Does anybody know what we mean? Maz, do you know what I mean? Oh.
No idea.
Oh, God.
I'm childless and fancy free, remember?
You're not the... You go.
Nice.
No.
Yeah, Mazza couldn't hear it, but
yeah, I'll listen to it later.
Yeah, there
you go. He does this kind of nice kind of thing.
Nice.
It's bizarre. It's more snappy than that, but you get the idea.
If you watch the whole story, it's because he's just drank a bottle. He's just drank a drink, and he's like glug 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 glug. Nice. Yeah. Anyway, there we go. Worf points out that the shields are at 33%, so it's going to be rough. On the bridge, they make preparations for going through the wave, like notifying sickbay to expect casualties, and Helm reports the wave is now at warp 7.2. Now, they said they couldn't go round the wave. You get this like shot of...
Yeah.
Here's a shot of the wave going past. Whoosh. And then there's a shot of the Enterprise going past. Whoosh. And the Enterprise looks exactly the same size as the wave.
Yeah.
It's like, well, couldn't they have moved like 500 meters to the right?
It's ridiculous. Unless it filled a whole sector of space, they could have easily gone past it or whatever.
Yeah. Was there a picture of Data there? I missed. Oh, look, Tavi's still there commenting on the Data pics.
He's getting in the way of the black box.
I was about to read out a bonus question, so I thought I'd better bring Data back as Tavi's still there for a minute while I read out the... So, bonus question then. What speed is the Enterprise going when it enters and passes through the wave? There you go. I think that's a slightly harder question. Yeah. What speed's the Enterprise going? So I want a warp factor something. And it has a decimal point in it, if that helps.
Yeah, and the... So here's the thing. If it suddenly started going much, much faster than it should have been going, they're still worried about it hitting the planet, right? But if its original course had been to intersect with the planet, the fact that it was now going much faster would mean it shouldn't intersect the planet because of normal planetary motions.
Because the planet's
Will be
moving.
in a different place.
So it's going to
than it
go
would have
past
been.
before the planet gets there.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's no longer on an
good on
intercept
that.
course.
Ah, look at his lips, she's saying. Look at his lips.
Look at the
Nom,
lipids.
nom, 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 nom.
Metric or imperial. You can give your warp factor in metric, please. I don't want any imperial rubbish.
African or European?
I don't want any warp factor 14s.
Have you tried the drink?
No, that's next week now because Tavikins is not on stream today.
No.
Yeah. So Smiler's just asking if we tried the drink. So she just got home.
Oh, I
They'll
just
be
got
well
home.
nicely
Say hello, Smiler.
Hello, Smiler.
Thank you. There we go.
Sorry, I'm tardy.
That's all right.
Hi, Smiler.
I've been doing the questions myself. I'm multitasking.
Well done, you.
Very
Yes,
good job.
very good, very good, very good. Okay, that's enough looking at Data. We've had the bonus question, and moving on. Meanwhile, a naughty Alexander is once again disobeyed his father and has gone to the biolab to visit the Gilvos. The Enterprise is hit by a wave and Alexander is knocked to the floor. They make it through the wave, but not without some damage. Some parts of the rear shield is missing. Oh no. So when the torpedoes explode, certain areas of the ship will become flooded with ion radiation. They will need to evacuate sections 24 to 47. That's 47 reference right there. And on decks 35 through to 38. Worf then reports a fire in the Biolab 4. The fire suppression system's not functioning. Picard orders it to be sealed off and for the air to be vented into space. I like the way Picard just orders that. He just seal off that area. And before he can get the order fully out, Data interrupts him and reports there's a humanoid life sign in the biolab. Good job Data was checking at that time. The computer confirms that the life form is Alexander Rashenko, much to Worf's surprise. And here is Worf's surprised face.
Yeah.
Dun, dun,
I think they're
dun.
missing the Worf light on that picture because you've got a bit of a shadow from his eyebrows going on there.
Yeah. Well, you got all those
I would imagine.
highlights in the bridge, haven't you? Yeah, it's like the whole ceiling is light.
Yeah.
But I would imagine it's quite hard to get it from, because obviously you know where the seats are, to shine it up with the
Yeah,
camera. It's
exactly.
awkward enough to get the equipment. He's not on a level, and you know that it's just awkward. Yeah,
He's
It's
not on a
great
level
position.
level.
And the if you try and shine it upwards, the console is in the way. So I'd imagine it's quite difficult from where
You'd
they
have to
are.
put the light on the console, like embed the light into his panel that he's using.
But then it might be too narrow. I think it's just it is what it is.
Yeah. Is Wookiee saying he's off too? If so, good night.
Either
Wookiee.
that or green is his favourite colour too. I'm not sure
Oh.
which.
Come on, you greens. We like green.
Green army, green army.
Green army.
No, I said African or European, which is a reference to Monty Python, and then we're talking about coconuts, and then that what is your favorite color is one of the questions to get over the bridge in Monty Python and the Holy Grail.
Ah,
And he goes, I don't know that. He gets shot out of a cannon and off the thing. That's what he's
yes.
referring to.
I'm with you. I'm with you.
Yeah, there's a long-winded.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, thanks for catching us up there. Back to question 5 then. And good evening, Smiler Rainbow, who's logged on finally after taking my son around town. Question 5 then. Geordie reports that the Soliton, I nearly said Soliton wave, because we were talking about green, and suddenly I had Soylent Green in my brain box.
People!
It's people. It's a people wave. Not Soylent Green wave. No, Solitone wave has now increased by a factor of what? 86, 94, 96, or 100. And it
Two
was.
B's and two C's.
It was C's. Whoever said 96C, you were correct.
Be myself and Stuplum again.
My God, you're running away with it this
We're
evening,
doing
you
good at
guys.
these, Stuplum.
Well,
Yeah.
given 94 is 47 twice, that's why I went for it.
Wow, yeah, you
Cunning thinking.
heavily thought through that one, didn't you?
Yeah, it didn't work, but there was a reason behind it.
Yeah, that was a good reason. But it was, unfortunately, it was 96. Yeah, that one. And the bonus question, then, what speed was the Enterprise going when it entered the wave? I can tell you, it had a 7 in it.
I was totally lying. It was me and Tabby that got that one right. Sorry.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Oh.
It was me and Tabby that got that one right. I
was
think
that-
me and Stuplum got the bonus one right, I think.
Is
But,
Is that changed the
yeah.
complexion?
May have
May have
done.
changed
Let's
the
do
complexion.
bonus, and then we'll have a
So-
check on the...
Yeah. The bonus question then, what speed was the Enterprise going? And I say it has a 7 in it, but it was 7.3. So I think that was yourself and Stuplum again, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So let's spin that wheel.
Again, I just tried. I just tried for 4.7. It didn't work.
This time it's number 1.
That would be me. So I've gone from, being second to last to just about being in the lead.
Well
so I'm
done.
on 260 points,
I did-
Tabby's on 240, Stuplum's on 230, Sean's on 150, G-Star's on 60.
Well, there's one question and one bonus question to go. Did I create a
Golly.
bonus question? Oh, actually, there might be just one question to go. I might have forgotten a bonus question in Act 5, but we had 2 in Act 2, so, there's still one question to go, though. So, yes, we're into the final act. We're into Act 5. And action. Picard tries to contact Alexander but gets no response. Worf reports the sensors show he's alive, though the transporter's offline, so they can't transport him out. Helm then reports they are slowing down and the wave is catching them. Riker asks Geordi in engineering what's going on, and Geordi says they've lost 4 warp conduits, which is a bad thing. So you better fire those torpedoes now, whilst they still can. They reports they've got 4 minutes and 30 seconds till the wave hits. So Picard gives Worf and Riker 3 minutes to rescue Alexander, and not a second more.
Did you know, apparently, I didn't try it myself, but if you time the episode from when he says 3 minutes to when they fire the torpedoes, it's exactly 3 minutes, not a second more.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
Apparently.
can I also stop to say how much I love the fact he goes, oh, and by the way, you have 3 minutes. He wastes a good 8 or 10 seconds of time. Gonna let them get in the turbolift, get them off, hit the comm badge, and say, just to let you know, you've 3 minutes, not lost any time. No, slow them down. That's take another 10 seconds off. Well done.
Talking about butts, look at Worf's pert butt. there.
Ping! He stuck that beatty right out, didn't he? Ready to go, ready for action.
Oh, well, out of frame.
Riker tries the door button, but it doesn't work, so he gives up. And then Worf heroically removes an access panel and aggressively swaps some isolinear chips and opens the door. They enter the biolab and look for Alexander. It's a pretty good job they did on the set to make the biolab like proper smashed up.
It's the exact same set from last week. They didn't. They never took it down. They just redressed it. But in saying that, it's a hell of a good job. But I guess they saved a lot of money in the budget by just using the same set, so it probably allowed them more to do some good distressing.
Smiley Rainbow says, I like Wolf's butt and I
But
cannot
and I
lie.
cannot lie. You ugly can't deny. Brilliant.
Tavykins would appreciate that one.
Yeah.
Data reports the wave is now 10 kilometers out. There he is. I just put that sentence in there just for the shot, you know. But of course, she's not actually here to appreciate it now. So, yeah.
Well, just in case she watches it back, we should take it off the screen as soon as possible, just to minimize the amount of D that we get.
Yeah. Well, in fact, we're not going to leave it there for a bit because we're going to go to question 6. So this is an important question, this one. Unfortunately, I know Mesmer Bob knows the answer because she's already given it to us this evening. But what is the name of the helmsman of the week? Is it A, Chin Riley, B, Felton, C, Haskell, and D, Monroe? Who is the helmsman of the week, Ensign Watt? Now, funny enough, this was exactly the same question as we had about 4 episodes ago at the game. And there's even the exact same answers. So if you remember the question back when we had the episode of the game, you'd remember which one that one was, which would knock one of those answers straight off. But yes. So good luck on that one. I think we've got a winner for this week now. And Riker and Worf look around the biolab, and Worf finds Alexander. Initially, they can't move the debris out of the way, so Riker goes and looks for a lever. He takes too long, though, so Worf moves it on his own. Here's Worf doing his best. This roof.
Yee-hoo!
Yee-hoo! This roof debris is definitely not made of polystyrene. Worf, Michael Dorn doing his best. This is heavy acting.
He did actually. I thought it was quite good. It is heavy acting, except when the whole thing started wobbling about and looking.
Well,
really,
it does, doesn't
like,
it? That's
Yeah.
always the giveaway, isn't it?
Yeah.
It makes me think back to.
But the strain and the effort and the acting, I thought, was actually quite believable until he got it up there, and then it was wibbling all over the place.
It makes me think of Khan from The Wrath of Khan. You know, when there's like a roof strut like that laying on his first officer, and he's supposed to be really strong, isn't he? Because he's genetically enhanced. So he just picks it up and throws it away, and you can see it sort of like
Bounce.
Like polystyrene off the like console.
The one that's really obvious, and if you notice it, I feel like I've said this before, but it's coffee cups. So when you see someone walking with a paper coffee cup and taking a sip out of it, it's generally empty in a show. And it's really obvious the way they lift it and they move. You know, the fluid would like slow it down in your hand and stuff. It's really obvious it's empty. Like they could just put a little bit of glue at the bottom so there's a bit of weight in it or something. They never do. It's just literally an empty cup, and it's just to stop it splashing. Once you see it every single time, and you go, that cup's empty.
Yeah. So they remove all the debris. They go to take Alexander to safety. But Alexander points out that the Gilvos will die, so Riker grabs them as well. They exit the lab into the corridor to safety, apparently. You only had to get to the other side of the door to the lab. Bearing in mind that when they actually, Riker had the diagram of the affected areas, it looked like most of the drive section was affected. But no, they got that door between them and the problem.
I commented exactly the same thing. I was like, it was supposed to be that whole section and floor, and yet it was just that single room. Oh yeah, ion radiation doesn't go any more than a few feet. That's ridiculous.
That's an ion radiation proof door.
They should have got out of there and just run straight to the the turbo lift. Like how difficult would it have been to have added that into the scene?
Yeah, it just looked a bit silly. On the bridge, Picard orders fire, dead on 3 minutes, without a second more, not knowing if their officers were successful in the rescue. But eventually afterwards, he discovers all is okay. Later in sick bay, Alexander has a broken leg and Beverly wants to keep him in overnight. Alexander asks if he's in trouble and Worf confirms he is, but they will discuss it at a later time. Alex promises to be good at Klingon school. so his dad will now be proud of him. Worf confirms that the Klingon school is designed to be a difficult challenge, but if Alexander wants a greater challenge, he can stay here on the Enterprise with him. Alexander accepts the challenge. And that's the end of the episode. It's quite cute. I thought the interaction with Worf and Alexander in this episode was quite cute. Even though Worf was getting it wrong, most of the time.
Robert Shearer said the same thing. He said it was the father-son angle that did it for him. And although, Michael Dorn's quite a big hulking guy, he's really sensitive and, talking to him about the basis of father's love, he really understood it and, was excellent in the role, as was, what's he called? Brian Bonsall.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen some of the interviews with him, or actually, more importantly, when he does panels at Comic-Cons and things, occasionally videos come out on YouTube, and you kind of have to watch them when you see them because they tend to disappear. But he's a very relaxed kind of guy. He's not gruff at all. He's just smooth and easygoing. He's kind of someone very fun to have a beer with. Yes. So I can imagine he actually has from what I've seen of his Comic-Con appearances, he just has a natural rolling rapport. He doesn't try to be funny or clever. He just chats pleasantly.
Quite often, if you ever see any of the blooper reels from TNG, like Worf's blooper reels are usually some of the best. I don't know why, but he's just a naturally warm, funny guy.
He has an amazing voice as well. I don't know if he's done voiceovers on stuff, but it's just such a wonderfully sonorous voice.
It was interesting how he said that. I watched an interview with him at one of these things, and he said that TNG was just so much fun that they all just laughed all the time, and it was just such a joy to be on. And he said, but Deep Space Nine was completely different.
Yeah, you had to loosen them up to get them on his page, but he was. He did voiceover work for Gargoyles. He was also all the Fallout games, even the older 90 ones. He was on all of those, even to the more recent Fallout 3 and Fallout 4. He's such an obvious voice. René Auberjonois also did one of them. And I had something else that's gone out of my head. Never mind, we'll move on.
But he said, on Deep Space Nine, where the whole TNG cast got along, they were all happy to work with each other, and they were just all great friends. They still are today. He said the Deep Space Nine cast, there were certain actors that just did not get along on set, a number of them, and Avery Brooks, whilst being very talented and an interesting guy, is quite difficult to communicate with because of his way. And the fact that the whole cast were kind of resentful for Worf to come on, because they felt that it was a sign from the studio that they weren't enough to stand on their own without another TNG crew member coming and bolstering them up. So everyone was kind of anti him being there, and there was on set problems amongst the cast as well. And he said it just wasn't the same kind of atmosphere for him on Deep Space Nine as it was in TNG.
Like an okay working environment, but not family.
No, that's right. Yeah, he said it wasn't proper fun like TNG was.
Well, I mentioned it before, but the Clone Star podcast. If anyone knows Sean Ferrick from What Culture, he has a podcast with another Irish guy called Shoseph. And anyway, they recently did an interview with Siddig El Fadil, or Alexander Siddig, or whatever you're calling him yourself, Sid. And he was mentioning about that, and he said they just finished their shift and they went home. TNG guys used to go for dinner every second week and all these kind of things, whereas DS9, he said, particularly the first couple of seasons, he'd only be in a scene or two every episode, and said quite often, unless the episode was centered on him, he'd only be shooting 2 days. It might be a 12-hour day, but he'd only be there for 4 hours of it. And he had quite a bad gaming addiction, and he'd sometimes go into the shift for 4 hours sleep and stuff. But outside of that, he said for the first couple of years, they honestly had no rapport at all. But Michael Dorn coming along, he did say he softened them up as well, so there might be some truth to that. I mean, later on, Sid got married to Nana Visitor, so obviously they loosened up quite a lot. And but for the first couple of years, they were dead to each other. It's just like get in, get out. It's just a
they were divorced before the series ended. They were split.
Well, that's true, yeah.
But I think also as well, they had so many cast members in heavy makeup that there became a bit of a us and them culture between like the Ferengis and Odo and like Gul Dukat, who hung out a lot in the makeup department because they were there all the time. And then the human
Worf,
crew and Worf, yeah. So there was kind of like a weird kind of alien and human kind of like thing. All the Ferengis, like they used to go around Armin Shimmerman's house afterwards and do like screen readings between themselves. That they do that and hang out together, but they didn't hang out with the rest of the crew, you know. And it's just kind of it's a like a strange dynamic. But anyway, that's enough of that. Oh, we did reach the episode, so I'm going to go back and just cover question 6, the missing question then. What is the name of the helmsman of the week? And Mazma Bob, you said it earlier. It was...
Fun.
I'm covered in bees, aren't I? So...
We have mostly B's. Also, Tavi said her remaining answers would all be C. So, of course, she answered C, which was not correct, sadly. And that means that for the first time in a very long time, I win!
You win.
Stuplum second, Sean third, and Tavi, unfortunately, dipping out on that last 120-point question, came fourth.
But on the bright side, with me changing the questions up this week, we actually have a first, second, third, fourth. I
like with the bonuses. I think that's good. It does sort of split the difference a little bit.
Yeah. So I got to put those onto the. So what? Starting with first
and I always
place,
feel like it's like Dan always used to call this the TNG quiz show, which isn't how it started, but you know, maybe it kind of is. Maybe we should rebrand
a little bit
with the TNG quiz show.
Well, we only have another 30 episodes to go, or 25, whatever it is.
Wookie thinks they should do like Eddie Murphy does and have one really talented actor to play all the parts.
All of them. Yeah.
Brilliant.
So that's 10 points to you, is it then, Maz?
That's 10 points to me. 9 points
hang on. So, right, 10 points to you.
Yeah.
9 points to Stuplum. So that's... right.
8 points to Sean.
8 points to Sean.
7 points to Tavikins.
7 points to Tavikins.
6 points to G-Star.
And 6 points to G-Star.
And Wookie thinks there should be more fart jokes as well. There's definitely not many fart jokes in Star Trek.
No, there's not, is there? No.
Do you have a fart button on your little soundboard there?
I don't know. No.
Oh, okay.
Sorry. No. I'll make sure I get one for next week.
Oh, we're going to have a fart sound for you next week. Oh, yes, Alexa. You can tell Alexa to fart 30 times and she will do all sorts of farts.
Alexa, fart once. I don't know if you heard that.
Yeah, we got it.
So there you go. So don't say I don't give you anything, right? There you go. So the scores, the only changes, Tavikins has dropped 1 place to Mazza Bob. You've skyrocketed up. You've gotten a lot closer to the top 3.
Ruth is still in first, even though she wasn't here this week. That's amazing.
Ruth is still in first, though only by...
Ruth is that good.
Only by 1 point now. She was
2 points splitting the top 3 places.
She was a fair bit way in front, but now it's only 2 points splitting your top 3. So it's getting close to the top. So yes, please put your scores in chat. What do you think you'd rate this episode out of 10?
And Wookie wonders if a Wookie's fart would sound bassy. It would be funny if it was like really a high-pitched squeak, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, I made it through the whole episode standing up.
Hey.
Quite comfortable.
We're not at the end yet, not quite.
I'm doing a lot of leaning, you know. I'm not just sort of freestanding. I'm sort of leaning, but it's quite comfortable. I like it.
Have you got your paddle?
Oh, I do. in a pile of paperwork, but I can grab it.
Hold on, I just have to go.
Come out, whatever
just-
you want.
I just have to go down to the basement. Hold on.
Oh, what to give it? What to give it?
He's gone to the basement to get his paddle. There we go. Hey, oh,
There we go.
Right.
All right. Did I ruin the illusion? Oh, never mind.
You mean that wasn't real?
What? Hold on, I'll just take the elevator this time.
I think I'm struggling with the putting the figure on this one.
I know, so am I. It's between
Woo.
2 scores for me, but
I'm kind of also basing it on what I've given things so far this season, because I try to match them up with this season. My problem is I've gone so high at the beginning that I've rooted myself in a high. But yeah, no, it's good. It's good. I've got something. I've got something here. Here we go.
I mean, your scores are all between 6 and 9. Mine are all between 5 and 9. We're all at the top end, really, but Sean's the only one that's gone a bit lower with a 4 there.
It's a great friggin' season, though. What can you say? You know,
Yeah.
I love season 5 of TNG. It's the time I was peak Star Trek fanboy. So here we go then. Out of 10, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Oops, I've gone a bit high. It was between a 6 and a 5, but I went. Sorry, a 6 and a 7, but I went for a 7.
5, Sean. 5. That's the second 5 in a
not
row,
much.
Sean. What are you
nothing
doing?
special about this
He
episode.
did a 6 last time.
No, did he? Oh, he did a 6. Oh, it's audience that did a 5. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think Tabby,
no, I
did,
was got.
Tabby did a 6, didn't she?
She did.
Yeah.
I was gonna go 5 last week, and then I changed it to a 6 because I had good canon references, because a lot of stuff was referenced later. Although they do mention the what you call it, the Silicon Drive, not Silicon Drive. I've forgotten it already.
Soliton wave.
Yeah, as one of the alternatives to dilithium in Discovery, but yeah, that doesn't count because Discovery's awful.
But yeah, I was between 6 and a 7, but I just thought I kind of enjoyed it a little bit more than last week's episode, so why not give it a little bit more in points?
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. I thought it was better than last week's episode, and I really liked the dynamic between Worf and his son. I really felt sorry for Alexander. Instead of being like an annoying brat, like, you know, because he was naughty and stuff, and usually that comes across as annoying, but instead his defiance and troubles that he was having, you could see, was purely based on the fact that he was abandoned and he was angry, and he wanted to get a rise out of Worf and make Worf pay attention to him. You know, and it's kind of sad, really, and I thought it was portrayed quite well as like a father. It kind of like gets to you, that kind of thing. So yeah, I thought it was pretty well done.
Most of the sort of production crew and stuff, you know, they quite liked it. They liked the character development, but then a lot of them got lukewarm feedback on it from some people who were like, oh, it's more of a soap opera, whereas the science fiction, it's like the Soliton wave thing was kind of the B story, and some people commented, well, it was just like 2 B stories rather than an A story, but I quite enjoyed it, to be fair.
Yeah, if you'd have asked me when I first saw this, when I first bought the VHS video when I was like 19 years
You
old,
wouldn't have been so
I would have
hot on
said,
it.
well, that was boring as shit. And I would have probably given it a 3.
Yeah, well, Chief Sean is basically almost still just about a teenager, so you can't blame him for giving it a 5, can you?
No, I suppose not, no. But I'm just older now, and it speaks to me more as a parent, you know. Yeah.
Did you tear up, Monty Bam?
No, I didn't go that far. No.
Yeah, it's boring, pointless, and forgettable. But it's not awful, so
It's
it gets a 5.
Pointless. Introducing Alexander as a character on the Enterprise and, you know, bringing the two of them together to live together was
whole arc that that
pointless.
creates.
Yeah, I don't think you can say that. I don't see you can say that. But I mean, especially like, you know,
Boring, we'll let you have. Pointless, we won't let you.
No, it was okay. It was semi-boring, but I bet you had the whole thing with the graviton wave and them, the ship rocking about and warp driveless warp. I mean, that was exciting. Geordie found it exciting.
Yeah. Geordie fanboying out. I mean, that's
Well,
not
Geordie,
bad
I'd say
point.
Geordie needs to find himself a good woman, but
Okay, so with Dad's rating of 6 and
And
Wookie's
Wookie's
rating
5.
of 5.
The average is to 5.5, which means we round up to 6.
We round. Oh, of course, we don't do. Oh, what am I doing?
We don't do
We don't do
decimal
points. No. So we round it up 6. So that is a 6.2.
We should have got a score out of G-Star before he left earlier. And
We
then
should
would
have done.
More scores to average.
Yeah, but I mean that puts it
a nudge over last week's. But
just over like a matter of time, which I think, in all fairness, is about right, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That'll do, pig.
That'll do, pig. That'll do. So, do we know what we got coming up next week?
Let me push my magic button and tell you. Boop. Hero worship. Data rescues an orphaned boy named Timothy from a damaged ship. As a way to repress his own pain, Timothy begins to mimic Data's personality. Tabby's going to love this.
Sounds familiar. I think have we had that before?
Yeah, the little kid pretends to be Data and starts acting like an android.
Cool.
I mean, I know Tabby's going to score it high, and I may well enjoy it, but I'm already thinking, oh, God, I don't think I like that. Let's see.
Although I will say, 2 episodes about parent-child mentoring in a row is a bit clumsy, but I think you'll agree this one is a better one than today's one. Yeah, it's decent enough.
Well, it's got more data, so
Yeah, plenty of.
Yeah, but I'm a Worf fan, so that's not really going to.
Yeah, it's not going to work.
Improve over this one for me.
It's not going to work for you,
when
is
you
it?
said what's episode's next, Stupum said episode 11, hopefully.
That is technically correct.
Wookie says Geordie said he couldn't believe his own eyes.
That's impressive.
Actually, you probably wouldn't hear a Wookiee fart, would you? Because it would just get dispersed by all that hair. You just hear.
It's like soundproofing. Yeah.
Yeah, you just might get a.
Yeah.
That's as much as you get.
I love that.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not too skin clapping, It's.
Well,
Sean, you
hairless.
thought about this. You thought about Wookiee's buttocks way too much.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
Oh, also, Wookie was saying about because you went down to the basement. He said, "Is there a basement under the engineering chamber? I wonder what useless crap is stored down there, like old Christmas cards and half-used tins of paint."
Yeah. Yeah.
All the Geordie's Guide to Dating, just all the discarded books or pads or whatever.
That's funny because in my
You're
basement,
on fire tonight, Wookie.
in my basement, I've got about 20 half-used tins of paint. So yeah, that's
Everybody does, right?
and you have your good stick to go with it.
Oh yeah, actually,
stirring.
yeah, I've actually got an old screwdriver. So yeah, I got a purpose, well painted old screwdriver. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah. So yes, next week, Hero Worship, episode 11. Thank you to Wookie and Stuplum for hanging around to the end. The rest of you, never mind. I'm not thanking you. You weren't here.
No. Thank you, Tabby. Thank you, G-Star. We loved having you here.
Thank you, Smiling Rainbow, for turning up eventually.
Thank you, Smiler. You're not being very grateful.
Wookie was 20 seconds late, so there is that.
Yeah, you just missed the intro. That was not very late, dude.
No.
We're all good.
It was before the first question, I think. So he was, he was there from pretty much the beginning. But yes, thank you, Mazza Bob and Chief Sean. Thank you for joining us this week.
My pleasure.
Always a pleasure.
We'll see you next week for another season 5 episode of TNG. Cheers. find the button.